Hi guys, this is JP from FSiPanel. In this video, I want to show you how to fly quick approaches using FSiPanel 2020 and the beautiful TFDi design 717. I just started to fly this aircraft and I'm very impressed by the realism. It's a beauty to fly, so let's have a look at how to fly these approaches. So if you don't know FSiPanel, this is a quick tutorial. We just loaded here the aircraft, so the only thing you have to do is load your aircraft at your desired position where you want to fly. So now I'm planning to do some flying out of Zurich, so I just load the aircraft anywhere in Zurich. And from there, what you should do is set your gross weight as you like for your training. So for that, I'm using the TFDi design add-on manager, and I will just send the payload and the fuel to the simulator. And from there we are ready. So the engines are off, our cockpit is in a cold and dark environment. So from there, nothing else to do, just take FSiPanel now. And let's see what we get there. So the 717 has been detected, as you can see here on the bottom left of your screen. And I'm using active sky weather. Alright, so FSiPanel can set any kind of approach you want. If you want to fly as well from star position, if you want to fly complex position where you can edit anything. But for this tutorial today, I will just show you the basic and especially how to fly approaches with the 717. So we have Zurich, which is the correct airport. I'm just going to select runway 14, which is the main runway in Zurich. And for the first approach, let's try long final. That will send us at 8 nautical miles on the ILS-14 at 3,700 feet, as you can see here on the position summary. So when you're ready to fly, this is basically the only thing you need to do. So now when I click move aircraft, what's going to happen? Let's see together. Our aircraft will be fully configured for us. So please do not touch anything. Just watch the show until you get the message to take over the control. So let's go for it. Move aircraft. So as you can see now, our engines are starting. You can see that on the top screen here, starting your engine. Please stand by. FSiPanel is already setting our MCP for the correct approach speed here and the altitude. Now my FMC, my MCDU has been set as well. So we are just waiting now for the first approach. We are waiting for the engine to spool up. This takes around 50 seconds. So nothing to do here. Just wait for the 50 seconds. Of course, you could start FSiPanel with the engines running, and then you don't need to wait for these 50 seconds. The approach will start right away. Here we have a correct spool up. So very soon FSiPanel will put us in the air. You can see that your flaps are set to 40 already. This is our approach flaps. And let's see what's happening now. As you can see now, we are in the air. We can see that FSiPanel is now setting your aircraft at 3,700 feet on the approach. The speed will be set to 145. And as you can see, always on the top screen, by control, moving your aircraft in position. So please do not do anything. Just wait. It will take around 40 seconds and we will be ready to fly. Okay, now we get the message, aircraft ready for your training. Hold your brake for 2 seconds to take control. So basically from now on, I can take over the control. I'm in position freeze, as you can see. So FSiPanel has set here the FMC just with the basics, Zurich to Zurich. The weight has been inserted into the page 2. And we can see that we have the approach speed there, and as well the nav setting has been done for your approach. So from now on, we are ready to take over the control. So I will arm the approach and then hold my brake for 2 seconds and I have the control. You have control. So now if you can see, you see I'm slightly left of the localizer, so I will just go and pick it up just so that the autopilot will intercept. Just go a little bit to the left if you see that. And we should get on the localizer. So we have localizer and glide slope captured now. So let's go for the landing. I will go fast forward and I see you on the ground. Just to show you again FSiPanel has set your gear down. We have the flaps to 40. We have the speed brake arm. And everything is set for approach. Within 40 seconds, I was ready to fly. My altimeter setting has been set to the correct value. And we are now ready. So I will move forward and I see you just for the landing. All right, back with you. We are about to land. I will take the autopilot off. And to show you the landing summary, the landing report, I will do a long landing on purpose, and we're going to be slightly left of the center line. Contact landing. So let's go now. Let's do a typical mistake. We refuse the ground, and I'm slightly left of the center line, and we will do a landing at around 850 meters, just at the end of the center of the touchdown zone, and see what FSiPanel give us.
40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
All right. So we have a quick summary, as you can see on the top, but this is not the main landing report. So I will show you the main landing report. We just bring the aircraft to a stop, and I will show you that. As well, one of the new features of FSiPanel 2020 is the after landing flow. So let me show you that before we go to the landing report. So now we just landed. I will vacate the runway and make sure your speed is below 30 knots. Okay, as we are now, and just retract one notch of your flaps. So if I do that now, you can see on the top screen, on the top of your screen, after landing procedure in progress. So basically FSiPanel is doing your first officer by doing the after landing flow, so you can just taxi your airplane to the gate. The APU will be starting and you'll be ready to go to your stand. As you can see now, the APU is starting. All right, so let's stop, bring the aircraft here to a stop and have a look at the landing report. So if I go to my landing report, this is what happened. You can see here that when we turned left to intercept the localizer, we were a little bit left, and then the autopilot nicely corrected. Our profile, vertical profile, was very nice, and we can see that we had a long landing on purpose. We tried it. We were left of center line, about 8.3 meters. But the landing was very nice. It's a kiss landing, but those two figures are not good. So we should see only green or amber here, not red. And we have the speed at touchdown and everything. So these landing reports will let you practice and get better in your landing. All right, so now, as you can see, my aircraft is on the ground with the flaps up. I don't do anything. I will leave it like this. And let's say now we would like to position ourselves on the left-hand vector. So on the left-hand vector, we should be, again, 8 nautical miles final, on an intercept heading to the ILS-14 at 3,700 feet. And for that, FSiPanel will configure your aircraft with flaps 13 and the speed will be 160 knots. So let's see if that works. I'll click Move Aircraft. You can see now your slat and flap moving to 13. The MCDU has been set. Now the mode control panel is set, the FCU here. And we will go in the air. So 160 knots. We are in the air. Again, don't touch anything. Just let FSiPanel do the work. The gear is going up because we have gear up flaps 13 for this configuration on vector. I'm not touching anything, just wait. And you monitor the top of your screen here, FSiPanel message, aircraft ready for your training. So from now on, I'm ready. I can just hold the brake 2 seconds. I have the control and I can arm my approach. I'm on the intercept heading. So we have lock and glide slope, land arm. The correct nav setting is done. And as well, before taking the control, you could set up your arrival if you want to set your arrival. You could do that now, but I will show you that in the start training in a couple of seconds. So now FSiPanel has set your approach. We are on the intercept heading for the ILS-14. So we are waiting for the localizer to come in, and then we are ready to fly. As you can see in this configuration, we have flaps 13. the gear is up. And if we look into our lights, we have the landing lights on, but the nose wheel is still off as the landing gear is up and locked for now. As the landing gear is up, then there is no nose landing light. So this comes usually with the landing clearance or sometimes when you lower the gear. Alright, so now as you can see, we have localizer captured. So the aircraft is turning onto the localizer. I will not do the full approach, but this is what you could do if you want to practice from a vector position. Another feature, I will just show you that now. You could basically fly a star. Let's see, you want to fly from Gipole position, which is northwest of Zurich. You could change any value that you see here. Those values are from the chart. So basically 334.7000 is the minimum altitude at Gipole. This is taken from Navigraph chart. And the offset means you will be 5 nautical miles before the point on an heading 334 at 7,000 feet. So if I try that now, validate, I can see on my summary that I should be on a Gipole arrival via the waypoint Gipole at 7,000 feet. So if I click move aircraft, now my flaps will be up, gear up, and the light will be on because we are below 10,000 feet. So let's give it a try. I didn't touch anything in the aircraft. As you can see, we're on final with the flaps 13 and the gear is up. And I click move aircraft. Let's see what's happening here. You can see that your flaps are moving up. Now the altitude is set to 7,000 feet. The speed will be set to 220 knots. We can see that here. And then FSiPanel will position us in the right position. So let's see that now. We are reaching 220 knots. And okay, here we are. So the aircraft is now set in position, 220 knots. We should be at 7,000 feet. So just look always up for your message, my control moving your aircraft in position. So here we don't do anything. Just wait for FSiPanel to set everything for you. 220 knots, this is correct. And 7,000 feet, we are almost there. So we should get the message now anytime soon that we are ready. Okay, aircraft ready for your training. Hold your brake for 2 seconds to take control. All right, so now, as I told you before, we can set our FMC or MCDU, sorry. As you can see now, FSiPanel has set the ILS, has set everything for us, but we just have a basic setup here with the weight and everything, but not the route. So before I take control, I could now use that time to set my approach. So for example, here we are in Zurich. Okay, so we can set our MCDU. So I will select, for example, the ILS 14. And there we said that we are reaching from Bercy 1 Golf. Insert. And remember, if we look into FSiPanel, we were supposed to be 5 miles before the position Gipole at 7,000 feet. So if I go now to my flight plan and I go direct to position Gipole, right there, we are exactly where we're supposed to be. So you can see there in front Gipole, the heading is 334 and I have my arrival. So if I'm ready to take over the control now, I could basically just hold my brake 2 seconds. And I have the control, and from now on I could go nav and as well with the profile and descend my altitude and start my descent. So basically this is how you can fly, easy approach, easy setup with FSiPanel 2020 and the beautiful TFDi 717. You can fly from any position, any airport in the world. You can use the quick position which are there, or you can select more precise position if you want, for example, to modify your vector. And you can see that's the vector that we flew before, which is basically 8 nautical miles final and 4 nautical miles leg here to intercept. If I think that this leg Y here is too short, I just press on the 4 nautical miles and I put, for example, 8. Now that will give me a 8 miles intercept track for my ILS. Now, same thing, if you want to have only here, I have 8 miles final. Let's say I want to be at 10 miles final. That will affect my altitude automatically for 3 degrees descent. So let's see if I put 10 miles here, for example. So now, as you can see, FSiPanel has computed that we should be at 4,300 feet, so that when we intercept the localizer, we are on the correct altitude for the glide slope. So this is how you can fly nice approaches with FSiPanel and the beautiful TFDi 717. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any question or comment, please drop a comment below and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe. See you soon in another video. Bye bye.